Good evening. My name is Anne Sophie Avé, and I'm the French ambassador to Ghana. I've been the French ambassador for 4 years, and I'm at the very end of my tenure, sadly, and my tree hasn't improved at all. So I was asked to tell you about changing the face of diplomacy. I never meant to, but that's what people told me when I arrived in Ghana. That was my first ambassadorial posting. What is diplomacy? It's actually what we all think is the art of dealing with people in a sensitive and tactful way. And I was not really born a diplomat, and I don't think I'm much of a diplomat. So when I was assigned as an ambassador, I looked at the assignment. Like a good soldier, I look at what do they expect from me. And the assignment was to work to support the interest of my country in a foreign country. In many areas, we work in economy, in consular, which is protecting our nationals, in cooperation, in many areas like agriculture, culture, defense, security, SMEs, bank, sports. So in other words, very simply, my duty was to make my country known, understood, and appreciated, my country being France, and build bridges between France and Ghana. France doesn't have a long history with Ghana, only friendly. In Ghana, I thought there was no bad narrative about the French, so I could put my own out there. In 2017, President Macron, the one who actually appointed me, decided that we needed to change the way we cooperate with Africa. And we needed to become partners instead of just donors. We needed to do trade instead of aid. We needed to have cooperation missions and operations that would come bottom up and not top down. And of course, we needed to address the civil society and the public opinion, not only the leaders. That is usually what diplomats are trained to do. So I said it, we had a long-term friendship, we had areas of cooperation, but the French diplomacy is about being everywhere. It's about being in every country. We are the number 3 in terms of network. Therefore, when you are everywhere, you cannot invest as much as when you choose 4 or 5 countries, which will be your priorities. Therefore, the amounts that we were investing in Ghana and the cooperation we were doing in Ghana was not so impressive. And I thought, I'm never going to do the headlines with that. So how could I reach out to the people? How could I explain what France was doing with Ghana? How could I make France and the French language better known and appreciated? So, I never had a plan when I arrived. I only have guidances, quotes that have followed me all my life. While I was listening to the very inspiring speakers before me, and the good thing of coming right after them is that I can say I endorse everything they said and every advice they are giving. I was thinking of a poem from Rudyard Kipling that I keep reading when I have my down moments, because I sometimes do. That is called If. And I will not quote it, but it starts like, if you can keep your head when all around you are losing theirs and blaming it on you, and it ends like, you'll be a man, my son. So I really encourage you to read it. So I have main guidances which I keep telling my staff. A problem that is well posed is already part of the solution. Any blurry objective inevitably turns into a precise mess. And to be respected, you need to show respect first. And however high you are seated, it is still on your bottom, which means stay humble. So the way my brain, if I can say it like that, works, to try and share it with you, is the following. You see those 9 points, and the exercise is how to link those 9 dots with 4 straight lines, continuous, passing through each dot, but only once per dot. You'll try it at home. But normally, you cannot find a solution. You will find with 5, you will find with 6, but you will not find with 4. And the reason why you cannot find the solution is the next slide. See how synchronized we are. It's because instead of seeing 9 dots, you see a square. So when you have to look at an objective, you have to look at the objective, not at the constraints. If you think, oh, I want to achieve this, I want to reach out to the people, I want to share with them what we are doing here in Ghana, and if I add to it constraints, oh yes, but an ambassador cannot do this and that, oh, but I cannot do this and that, then I will never ever find a solution, because I will remain blocked in that square. And that was not the assignment. The assignment was to link the 9 dots with 4 straight lines, continuous, going through each dot, and only once per dot. And the solution, to find it, you have to get out of this box, this square, that was never there. It was only 9 dots, but our mind is blocking it into a square. That was never part of the assignment. So this is an exercise that very often I give to some of my staff when I try to make a point that they are stuck in their procedures or stuck into their own mindset, and they will never, ever go anywhere if they do not think out of that box. So again, my assignment was, how do I reach out to people? How do I share what France is doing in Ghana, what France is? How do I share a bit of my culture? I was here enjoying the Ghanaian culture, but how could I share mine? And how could I make France, friendly? So people would feel like going to France, visit, would feel like learn French, would have a realistic image of French and France. And the idea came of doing a TV show. That was Touch of France TV show. And so the idea was not to do a documentary about France and say, oh, France is wonderful, and show the best tourist sites and share a bit of the language. The idea of the show, the format, was to invite a Ghanaian celebrity. Because I thought, if I say, my country is amazing, I'm going to tell you all we can do, you will find it maybe interesting, but best case scenario, you will think, okay, she says that, but that's what she's paid for. But if it's someone you like a celebrity, like all the VIP guests I had on my show, among which Kobe Che. Did I have you? Yes, I did. So then what they say about their experience of France, then people will believe them, because they are part of you. So that was the main idea of the template. The one you see is the one with Sarkodie, but we had shows with Stoneboy, we had Jackie Appiah, we had actually 26. One of them was an animation character, which was Kweku Ananse. So the character was added when edited. I shot the entire show speaking to a cushion. We also, of course, had the President of Ghana as a guest. That was, of course, a way of getting into people's homes, and that was a way of displaying in a talk show, fun way, with a quiz at the end where people could win something, even a trip to France, by saying what the French expression was for an English or a British expression. So I met many of the Ghanaian artists, and doing my research, I realized they were just amazing. And one day, I had the opportunity of meeting with French artists who were looking at doing music videos here in Ghana, and they wanted to meet Ghanaian artists to do featurings. I connected them, and then 11 songs have been done featuring Ghanaian artists, French and Ghanaians. And it was, so that's now you can put, yeah. So those 6 Ghanaian artists, of course it's heartbreaking because you have to choose, and you have many more. I can list 50 amazing Ghanaian artists. But it was, of course, Kwabna, Stoneboy, Sarkodie, Becca, who am I seeing? Gasmila and Fameye, and the French were Oti and Passy. And it was so good what they had come out with that we decided to perform that on stage. And that was last November at the Alliance Française. And what I saw in the audience black people, white people, people from Ghana, from West Africa, Francophone, Anglophones, even Lusophones, French, Lebanese. The crowd was so multicultural, and they were all in unison, having a wonderful time listening to this music. And that's when I thought, there is something to be done about music and entertainment. This is something that creates bridges, and that also tells something about Ghana. Therefore, in April, the 23rd of April this year, I took those Ghanaian artists to France to perform with the French in one of the most prestigious venues, which is l'Élysée Montmartre, in the center of Paris. And they had an absolute blast. The crowd was also multicultural. Some people came from all over Europe. The diaspora was there, but many French as well, who enjoyed Ghanaian music, which I usually call international music, made in Ghana. So changing the face of diplomacy was about getting out of my box, getting out of my comfort zone, and believe you me, becoming a TV presenter and becoming a visible, I can't say a celebrity, but visible, when you hit 50 and you think that you are in the evening of your life, and suddenly you have a whole new world opening in front of you. That was quite unusual, but at the end of the day, I believe that now, for many Ghanaians, France looks a bit more friendly, French sounds a bit more friendly. I can only hope that my successor will carry on this trend, and to do that, work very closely with Ghanaians, listen to them, listen to their advice, and I want to thank all the people who've helped me during this journey, among which, of course, the number one is Bola Ray, who has pushed me to host the TV show that we had come out with together. Also the photographers, the bloggers, among which Kobe Che, Zion Felix, Amayao Deborah, Kali J, who have given me visibility, because you can have the best message you want if you have no one to convey it to. If you don't have an audience, then you are preaching in the desert. I am quite amazed because I am in the time, 25 seconds before the end. So thank you so very much.